My name is Mohammed Faisal, and I'm by profession a chartered accountant. I'm a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Our company is, as you know, is in the automobile sector, and mashallah is a big name. And in terms of market share, maybe we are, compared to Suzuki, we are a little lower, like we have 32%, 33% market share. But in terms of our top line, our profitability, our dividend payouts, and our contribution to the society, mashallah, we are the leaders in this sector. First of all, the budget hasn't brought about many changes in the next fiscal year. If you will see, it's almost the same, though the direction is that they have tried to bring about changes which will contribute positive towards the economy, the progress of the economy. Like, for example, sales tax, zero ratings, and sales tax exemptions, which are available to certain services, certain sectors, they have been withdrawn. So that will contribute towards increase in, or sort of broadening the tax base, which is positive in terms of contribution to the economy. Otherwise, it's almost the status quo. I haven't seen any major changes or any philosophical or policy changes which have been brought in this federal budget. To my mind, as per my reading, it's not that kind of a thing which is going to happen very soon, because as you've seen, it's almost 851 million fiscal deficit, which we are talking about for the next financial year, and that shortfall will be mainly financed by domestic and external borrowings. So though the broadening of tax base will be sort of contributing almost approximately 220 billion rupees in the economy, but certainly we have more of expenditures compared to our receipts and revenues. So we are still having a fiscal deficit, which they are saying they will try to contain it to the level of 4% as compared to 5.7% the last year. But it appears to me that it's not going to be sort of contributing towards reducing our sort of reliance on the IMF support. As far as auto sector is concerned, and as far as Indus Motor Company is concerned, it's kind of a neutral to positive impact of this budget to our company. So like sales tax rates have been slashed down by 1%, so it's come down from 17% to 16%. Whereas special excise duty, which was 2.5%, which was applicable on our cars, it has been slashed. So it's like 3.5% reduction in our prices, just for clarity only. So this will certainly reduce our selling prices of the cars effective July 1, 2011. So this is a positive sort of side of it, of the budget. And there was news in the market that high-tech parts, which is called AIDP, which is Auto Industry Development Program. So high-tech parts was going to go to the level of 50% duty as opposed to 32.5% duty, which is current. So that didn't happen, which is positive to us. But so there were certain other considerations, like some non-MX parts, which is normal duty, is 32.5%, will go down to 30%. The AMX parts, those parts which are localized by the vendors and which say we are importing, those were attracting 50% duty, and the proposal was that those will be reduced, that duty percentage will be reduced down to 45%, but that didn't happen. So certain things were going to impact us, certain things were positive. So it didn't happen, both the things didn't happen. So it's like a status quo for us, so that's not a change, or it's not a cost up for us. So the positive, as I talked about, sales tax rate reduced down by 1%, and special excise duty abolished, which had a positive sort of contribution in terms of price decreases, because it was something which was going to the government directly, it wasn't going into our pocket. So government reduced the rates, so the benefit will certainly go to the customers. So it is like a neutral to positive impact on auto sector. So another important thing which is, I think, positive to us is that CNG, there's sales tax on CNG as far as we are concerned, but that wasn't there in the aftermarket CNGs, which has been sort of implemented effective July 1, 2011. So that will be kind of level playing field for us. So the impact overall is neutral to positive. I think it's not going to impact, because we are kind of a company who really thinks very sort of positive about IT. We take this thing as an investment, not as a sunk cost kind of a thing. Whatever you spend in IT is going to give you, not in the short run, but also in the long run, because our business is much expanding. We are going to be a $1 billion company, maybe next financial year. We are almost touching we have already touched the 80 billion rupee level of turnover, which we are sort of projecting it to be higher in the next financial year. So likely is that we'll be $1 billion company in the next financial year, and company of this size certainly needs sort of good IT systems, good infrastructure, and dependence on systems rather than human. So our company looks at IT investment as investment, and it's not going to impact as such on our next sort of fiscal spendings on IT. Like in Pakistan, first of all, the law and order situation. Like, what are the challenges we are faced with as a country or as an individuals? Like poverty level, which is very low, power crisis, which are certainly we are here to face with, and in higher inflation. So like we have our generation. So we are not 100% relying on KESC or other sort of. We are not at the mercy of these people. So we have our own co-generation power plant. So we have taken that challenge and converted that into an opportunity that, okay, we can survive if there is no electricity as such. So we can survive. The other thing is like, since there is poverty, so this is a real opportunity for us to contribute in the society. So as an enterprise, we have been contributing a lot to the society, and as per our policy, 1% of our profit before tax goes to the society towards social contribution. So this is our policy, and every year our profit before tax 1% goes to the society. So we contribute towards that, and mainly in the education sector, in the health sector, we are contributing. The other thing is, in Pakistan, the real challenge is unemployment. So what we are doing is we are localizing more parts. So what we are doing is we are supporting a local industry, local vendor base. So like we have 60 vendors as of today. And 60 vendor means like we are talking about, in terms of employment, we are talking about say 200,000 employees. So jobs, 200,000 jobs. So more we localize, the more technology we sort of brought in Pakistan, and localized parts is like giving opportunities or giving employment to the people. So every challenges we are faced with, we are trying to create opportunities and converting them into opportunities and giving a sort of space to people who can contribute in the society. What we are trying to do is we are mainly in two segments, which is 1300cc above segment, which is our XLI GLI 1300cc, and above that is our Altis segment. We recently launched our 1.6 GLI automatic. So that's strategically priced range so that people who are not willing to buy, say, Altis 1.8, 1.6 top of the line can be willing to buy, say, 1.6 GLI automatic, which is relatively less priced than the top of the line product. We have core in the economy segment. Where we are not in the market is the 1000cc segment. Now, the car prices are going up because we have dependence on our CKD kits, like we are importing some contents of the motor vehicle. So the first sort of plan is to localize more, so that the more you localize, you are less exposed to foreign currency fluctuations, and this will enable you to control your prices or sort of contain your prices to some extent, unless you start bleeding when you are sort of incurring sort of losses on those particular parts. So first is that we are pretty focused on the localizations. We have plans. In last Corolla we localized more. In this minor model change we localized more, and our plan is to continue to localize wherever we have opportunity. We have cost merit sort of which there's economics available for localization, we certainly do it. So like cheaper car or reasonable or affordable cars in the market is a challenge. So one thing which we are doing is, say, those people who are not who can't afford the new car, what they can do is we have introduced Toyota certified used cars scheme, whereby our dealers, if you want to walk in the dealership, you have a car and you want to buy a new car, maybe one sort of scheme is that you can give your old car that can be sort of traded in against the new car. So you'll have to pay only differential, the first thing. Second thing is, if you want to buy a used car, okay, but you want to buy a car which is sort of certified, it's not going to give you huge cost for maintenance going forward. So what you can do is you can walk in our dealerships, Toyota certified used cars, and they will give you a car which they have sort of bought in, and they have sort of serviced that car, they've improved that, and now that is ready for sale at a reasonable price. So, and they are giving you 6 months warranty as well. So you are getting now a used car certified by Toyota dealerships for 6 months. Like it's like 10,000 kilometers in 6 months, whichever comes earlier, or 20,000 kilometers, I'm not sure. But you have, like we have tried to sort of bring in this kind of new flavor, that those who can't afford to buy a new car, they can sort of count on something which is now available. This is available. This was very much available in the market. It's still available. If you go to the non-authorized dealers, you can buy the used cars, but those are not certified. Those are not sort of checked properly, thoroughly. So if you buy a car, you walk out, and maybe you will find some problems going forward, because they can fix it immediately, but going forward you will find some problems. What we are doing is, there are certain points which are dealerships check in every car, and based upon that they certify a car and then sell into the market. So this is something. The other thing, as I talked about, was that we are trying to localize more so that the car prices can be contained. Now, an important factor which I'm sure you would realize, that in our cars prices, 33% goes to the government. So every car we sell, say our price is 1 million rupees, say for example of a car, 333,000 rupees goes to the government only. So it's because of the duty which we pay, the sales tax which we pay, special excise duty now abolished. So these and these are the things which are, or income taxes, these are things which contribute hugely. So if that portion gets reduced, then certainly cars prices can go down. So our focus is that where we can localize, we should do, so that there is less concentration on the import side, because the more we import, the more currency devaluation happens and more we are paying at the end of the day to the supplier as well as the government in terms of duty. So the more localization means more opportunities for employment, more local industry based development, and less foreign exchange outflow. First, we invested huge amount of money in a press shop phase 1 project, and just recently we invested another sort of tranche, a huge amount of money in press shop phase 2, which is almost around 1.6 billion rupees we invested, and the last time we invested was almost 1.2 billion rupees. So we are talking about like 3 billion rupees we have invested over a period of say last 3 years in press shop project, and whereby what we are doing is we are producing parts, skin parts, which we were previously importing from Japan. Now we are producing locally, so almost we are talking about more than 20 parts, or 20 parts we are producing locally, whereby what we are doing is we were able to reduce costs, and we were able to reduce our foreign exchange outflows and contain our currency fluctuation impacts to certain levels, so that we can sort of pass that benefit on to the customer. And what we did was we had really actually passed some benefit on to the customers, and in terms of price reductions, which happened in December 2010, where we reduced prices and no other automobile manufacturer actually reduced prices. So what we do is we are very sort of sensitive to this thing, but the situation is in front of you, that as I said, that the cars price is a huge major chunk, 33% is government sort of contribution, so we can't really help it. What we can do is we can cut our costs and sort of keep that level. So, but currency devaluation is something which is sort of hurting us a lot.